Yeah, their lineup definitely looks a bit peculiar, but one thing that doesn't seem to go out of style is mind control on some abusive offlaners. And this seems like a bit of a change for me when it comes to Nigma of some of their recent performance. I've been a little disappointed with mind control lately. I don't know how you feel about it, Fogged, but I wonder if them putting him on a stronger laning hero is something to perhaps offset that.
I think so too. He's just been struggling a bit. You know, it's been happening for a bunch of players. It's just getting back into the groove of things. And now he actually gets picked this very good matchup, right? He's got Ben over Ursa, so that's going to be great.
He leveled Poison
Sting. Yeah.
And now he's been disrupted, so he's going to start off with a bit more damage done than he'd like.
That's a bit painful. And this is actually something neat. Look at GH's starting item. He starts with a Wraith Band on the IO. That's a first for me.
Yeah. So I guess he's just we used to see, I think like it was maybe a month or two ago, we used to see some people pick up Wraith Band because they thought it was the most valuable of all of these stat items now because of the 1.5 armor, right?
Yeah, especially on like the strength heroes, right? I saw Clockworks buying it all the time. So, hey, it could be something similar, you know, a little bit of extra attack speed, some armor and all that for you to be able to kill off some Eidolons. Sure. Rather than going for Bracer. We used to see a lot of Bracer just for the HP regen, but hey, a little bit of variety as Jip at bottom.
Taking a lot of damage and will probably be run down here unless he could somehow juke his way out. If he shows his way out of the trees, he's definitely dead. He gets one last disruption off, so that might actually do some more. Zibe's really juking this one nicely. The Fisher, he misses. He juked upwards. Now he's going to turn around and kill mind control. Oh, no way, Zibe. A big, big juke and a turnaround first blood kill for Charlie.
I thought 100% he was dead, and now he's going to be able to get the side pull off of it too, a little chain reaction effect from him surviving. Beautiful stuff coming out from Jibe playing the tree line. And, I mean, off the mark completely, KuroKy just not getting the read with the fissure.
Yeah, he pump faked it too, and that hesitation probably cost him the kill as a result. And, yeah, I mean, you said it. They got pull off as a result. He's going to threaten another pull, which Kuro will interrupt.
Oh, and Jip is getting hit pretty hard, but he's got backup, and now Kuro, he'll be fine. Charlie doesn't want to actually chase him down because he might just TP out if he does go for any play over there, and then he wastes a lot of time.
Watch that again. Zibe. Oh, you could see he was gonna Fisher. He had him. And then Zibe does manage to go up and gets his healing self-cancel, but it doesn't really matter. He does finally die. His mind control made his way over, but still, the damage has already been done. Charlie's gonna get a pretty fast level 3 with the creep wave under tower for himself.
Yeah, and them getting that side pull is huge, right? Look at my control's last hits. He's got 3 down here versus the 10-5 of the Ursa just because of that start. And now Jibe, he dies, but respawns, brings the items for the Ursa to have a better laning phase. And this will probably continue. I mean, Charlie, this is going to be a good start for him versus these two. If my control doesn't fix this in the next few moments, he's actually at risk of always dying if KuroKy's not just sitting down bottom. So Kuro, he's going to fix a little bit of this lane. He's going to start pulling and moving it around and just fixing the equilibrium as top is getting dove. I saw they went for the swarm at level 2, so just really trying to apply the pressure, getting those Eidolons, and just really diving Chessie.
Yeah, that makes sense. That is something that I think teams, we've seen them get a lot better at, is remembering how to pressure off-lane Enigma, right? It's been a while since its hero was really meta. This patch, it's finally really come into vogue and is a big hero. And people just kind of got to remember how it is you deal with this hero. You can't be very passive. You got to be active. You got to actively hunt down his Eidolons and maybe even actively hunt down the hero himself. As another pause is going to come out, they're going to be underneath the tower when Era arrives with this charge. We'll see whether or not Chessie can live once the pause is done.
Did the tower switch to him? It did, right?
I think so, yeah, it
switching
did.
to Miracle. Okay, so I think maybe they might still be able to get it. He has the bug only for one more hit. They might still be able to dive because Shukuchi's up in a second. So still likely to get the kill unless Era gets like some phenomenal bashes.
So what do you do with Chessie here? Like, do you accept that you might be traded out for the Weaver and try and kill him, or are you going to get that bug off and try and juke into the trees?
Oh, it's a tough question because like the tower's on him, but they have the tether heal. Io's not eating a tango. Oh, it's tough.
Yeah, it'd definitely be a clear answer if GH like had a healing salve or something in his back pocket. Like, okay, killing Miracle would be really difficult, but they have a chance here. Chessie deals with the bug. Era's going to chase away the Weaver. The Weaver does get very low, but barely outside of tower range before the charge was complete.
Nice from Era, getting that a little extra bash too, and they'll actually have to back away, and Chessie will be able to keep himself here and heal up a little. So that actually hurts quite a bit of their effective regen up there for the side of Nigma, and Chessie will be able to keep himself up here, and we'll see what Era does in the next few moments. He was spotting out some couriers, but he can't get to them. And GH will pull the lane back, or attempt to pull the lane back.
So Venomancer has actually been on my list of like one of those winning heroes right now. I feel pretty strong about, and I played this matchup a lot. This Ursa feels like people really like to look at it as a potential counter to Venomancer, but it is definitely a lane that goes one way or the other, right? You're either going to get really hardcore abused as the Ursa by Venomancer, or if you get that fast set of phase boots, then you can pressure the Veno a lot.
Yeah, and mind control is, he's got to get left, right? Kuroki's going to go check the rune, so every time he gets left, he has to walk completely away from the wave. Weehaw?
Ooh, fortunately, Dissimulate was popped at the right time, but he may not still live, especially if it was a bash. Oh, the Fairy Fire might have helped him live, but a bash comes through from Era.
It's very fortunate that Death Prophet Siphon also follows post-dissimulate, so they're able to stick on him pretty easily there. And hey, Mind Control continued to get pushed away from the lane, so level 3 on the Veno. His effectiveness will still be there versus Ursa for the most part, but having an under-leveled Venomancer will not be something that Nigma does want, as they really are about that early aggression on their lineup. And if they start getting stalled too much, I feel like that's just playing it to high coast. That's Miracle. Get charged up. They have a sentry too.
Here's Shikuchi, lasting just long enough to get him back into the trees. But even just keeping him low should be able to secure the 5-minute bounty runes that are coming up for them. Zera is going to start making his way over, looking like a 2-2 split as Nigma have the bottom lane well controlled as well for that. So.
Like I'm seeing a lot of these, like the Enigma picks, and then you guys have a hero that can leave the lane easily, these Spirit Breakers and Earth Spirits. This game, of course, Spirit Breaker very appropriate versus Weaver. So we're watching Era have some decent freedom because he has that Enigma up there, Chessie able to hold his own. And Kuro just has to, he has to handhold Mind Control a little bit more. He still only has 8 last hits, Cap.
Yeah, it's Charlie has been really good at keeping up the denies, and his boots plus Windlace has given him enough that Mind Control doesn't feel really like he doesn't feel in control. He doesn't feel like he can go on the offensive and shove this Ursa out for fear of being potentially turned around on. So.
And there's already the phase boots now on Charlie, so Mind Control is at risk of dying constantly in this lane now. If he does make any slip-ups, if he doesn't have Kuroki at his sides, this will be a dead Venomancer in most situations. And yeah, phase boot, Windlace, 408 movement speed when he is popping that.
Yeah,
345 on the Veno.
He's managed to have such a successful CS laning phase for the Ursa, and has been given solo experience for the most part. Like, he's gonna have level 6 so soon.
Yeah, they've somehow successfully just owned this bottom lane just because of that whole level 1 and just getting a couple extra pulls off. It's really messed up Nigma's want what they wanted down here, because like Kuroki's had to check bottom rune too for Weehaw because he was struggling a little bit, so they've had to move around, and it's definitely hurt Mind Control a sufficient amount. Look at Chessie, he's almost level 6 too. Yeah, this Venomancer is quite behind.
Does manage to get the read on Weehaw. The charge was there as he walked underneath the ward. And as a result, Exorcism is out. I can hear the ghost going away. They're going on to Kuro right now. He's going to go ahead and throw out the Fisher, see if he can survive, but he's going to be chased down most likely. Back over to the mid lane with Siege Wagon push and Exorcism out. This is feeling like Weehaw's rotation up to top lane. I'm not sure if it was the right time for him to do something like this, because Supreme might just take this tower in its entirety. Is he going to get the
whole tower? He actually might. He's standing right up against it too. It's in deny range, but he has to be a little careful. So if they want to deny it, Nigma will, and they will immediately.
Yeah.
This is really good pressure coming up from High Coast. Like, Mind Control was forced to TP out bottom. They killed Kuroki. They end up swinging mid, getting the tower too because of Weehaw's rotation. This is just great stuff right now for them, and they're even applying pressure onto Weehaw afterwards here with Supreme just sticking around in the lane. Now Supreme's got, World is oyster. Pick and choose what lane he wants to go to pressure next. Likely to be that top lane.
Oh no!
Weaver. Oh no! Miracle.
Double Centaur stops. Miracle gets the bugs out, but I feel like if I'm going anywhere in Supreme, I'm going top. But I see this stack.
Yeah. Weehaw has to Weehaw's coming up here too. This stack needs to be farmed. Like, Nigma does not want to give this one away.
No, they don't. The Eidolons are currently doing it right now, so they got to get aggressive. Weehaw Oh, Centaur Stomp onto the Enigma, but the charge is going to come out, force out the Dissimulate. Weehaw getting aggressive. Oh, a whip there on the black hole. Chessie keeps it going. Some sort of vain hope that somebody will walk back in, but no. At least they do control this this camp, this stack. It will be theirs, even if they failed out on the black hole.
A swing and a miss. He was hoping. You know, he was hoping the Shukuchi would go back through. Miracle was patient, though. He sat back. He at least still has his book 1 done, and still good pressure, and still really good things coming out from High Coast. Mind Control does get some space, but Charlie's already got a broadsword, too. This is...
Whoa. Miracle. Jeez. That was wildly aggressive there for a moment in GH.
And GH is going to pay for it.
Yeah, he certainly is. I mean, Miracle had an out. He could pop his ultimate, which, you know, he did, but I'm not sure if that move made a whole lot of sense. I'm not sure what's going on with Nigma right now, but feels like some uncharacteristic mistakes being made by them.
Yeah, and their lineup is about, like, you know, getting ahead and staying ahead in this early game. You don't want to start getting behind versus this Ursa and Enigma draft. And, you know, your one position, your Weaver, is countered in a lot of different ways. There's a Spirit Breaker in the game. There's a Death Prophet Silence. There's a couple annoying things. Sure, there's not crazy amount of stuns and control, but those are usually tend to be quite enough, especially just the Spirit Breaker. And now they're even applying pressure on the tower, too. This is 2 towers already taken by High Coast in this early game. Nigma's going to start breaking the lanes and start causing some chaos. They're getting some good space from My Control bottom, so he can start applying pressure on this tower, but yeah, they have to start just moving around on this Weaver and Io and trying to just pick off these squishy supports, the Shadow Demon in particular.
Meanwhile, High Coast, I always kind of like this play whenever you've got these really annoying offlaners, these Timber Saws, Venomancer's a good example. Like, instead of fighting into them, which is kind of what they want. Just letting that tower go and getting aggressive somewhere else, and this is where they can get aggressive onto Supreme. Disruption is only going to buy him a little bit of time here. The charge is going to come through. That allows Supreme to be able to get a lot of Spirit Siphons off, and that ultimate from Miracle didn't actually get him away from that. The Spirit Siphon keeps him up, and Supreme, now at half health, is going to start turning things around. And Charlie, he's going for the kill onto the Io, won't be able to get him, but Weehaw, he does not have any jumps away, so Zibe is going to run him down with the poison. What a huge turn. His Era comes in on the clutch timing there with the charge.
Clutch timing from both supports. Zibe gets the disruption right after the first siphon goes off. So the siphon continues during disruption, and that actually is the thing to keep him alive. That little bit of extra region that goes during that disruption. And then, yeah, perfect charge from Era coming through. Good connection from High Coast bringing the squad. They brought all 5 to battle because they know how this early game is going. They know how strong the Ursa is. It's given a lot of space to Mind Control, though. He is completely caught up. He's top net worth for his team. And he is going to be building toward that rush of a Yule. So he will have the thing to address that Ursa in a lot of the mid-game team fights.
Good read by Zibe, or probably the call out there from Era. As he charged through, the Venomancer started changing his positioning, so they knew there was a ward up there. And they check for a second one inside of their jungle. They're going to place that one. That's going to be spotted and potentially really punished by Weehaw. He attempts to go for the kill, but Zibe, he's level 6 here. Weehaw, he's got to be careful in his aggression. He's going in deep. He's going to get purged up. The ultimate, it's going to come out soon from Era, but they do have to relocate. He's got backup, and that's going to come in from Miracle. Both the supports are going to die pretty fast on the side of High Coast, but Kuro's already dead. Supreme, he is strong. Charlie. Can they actually help him out here? The silence is going to go down as the relocate back happens, so they weren't able to focus down Charlie the way they wanted to.
This is how they need to start collapsing. They need to start causing this chaos. They can't let High Coast just sit back and get this farm. I like that they just use that relocate, force the issue, just get something on the map. They lose Kuro, but I think they have to start making these kind of moves. They can't just let Charlie do Ursa things and just get Battle Fury freely and just sit back and keep farming for the next items. Have to apply this pressure with Weaver Io.
Second fastest tier 1 mid tower kill in the EU DPC. It goes to show. It's High Coast. They got themselves one hell of a boon nice and early thanks to Supreme's domination of the mid lane.
Death Prophet overall as a hero is just insane right now. The few series that I have seen have been played even as 5 position, but the few where I see it as a good mid lane, just a good role for it in this one, it just does so much. You don't even need the exorcism a lot of the times it feels, but it just puts so much pressure on the enemy mid laner.
Making a move.
We'll clean up that warrior. Get a little bit of extra gold from the Necro Book.
Weehaw coming in with his Invis rune to the top lane.
He's very poor. He's under a sentry now,
he's spotted by a sentry, Chessie. Okay, he knows now. The range creep showed him, but they're immediately going to go for the black hole. The trap has been sprung and set. Caught a Weehaw. He dies.
Oof, he is really starting to fall behind. 0-3-1 right now on Weehaw. He's got the max dissimulate build too, just for like the big farming kind of style. And yeah, he's died a couple times now. That one a bit unfortunate. He's under the sentry, but as Era, immediately when they get a kill, he's looking to get active again, charge across the map. Very good versus that Veno and Weaver. Mind control. Can they actually set up an extra gank for him? They cannot.
I actually think this is a very underrated aspect of Spirit Breaker, is that he can play BSJ's quote-unquote dead lane, the hard lane to be in, right? The safe lane, playing around the tier 2 without losing. It's not like the enemy team sees the Spirit Breaker bottom and goes, oh, guys, they're 4 versus 5. We can get aggressive on the other side of the map or something. It's a support that has a very unique mechanic that allows him to be able to be in front of certain towers that are out of position, but still be there for the team.
I love that it lets you set up and save the fast TP for your teammates. That's the biggest thing for me.
Yeah.
It always lets the 3-second TP on the front line as Miracle is diving in.
Zibe, he's definitely going to be dying here, but GH is going to get low, ulted up by Era. They need a little bit more, but he's so fast because of the Shukuchi, as now they're looking to be able to force Charlie. Actually, he's already used his ultimate, so never mind. He's just going to die. Down. Exorcism will clean up on Kuro. Does Supreme feel good enough to run into these 3? Doesn't look like it, especially since Mind Control's here as well. Doesn't actually clip him there as he throws out the Gale, but they can try and pressure this tier 1 mid tower.
He might need something like a hood or any type of magic protection as Supreme. There's actually a ton of damage coming out from Weaver with Maelstrom, with Io. The fact that Overcharge gives you Spell Lamp, it actually is an insane amount of damage that does come out as Chessie top. The relocate catches him off guard.
Yeah, this is something that is kind of awkward. This relocate against an offlaner that likes to remain kind of static in a lane, right? Venomancer and Nigma are very similar in that regard. They want to occupy and own an area of the map, but relocate makes the game a lot harder for you.
Yeah, Chessie's gonna have to be a lot more careful of how he shows in the lane. Maybe just having the Eidolons and the Necro Book shove rather than actually showing his hero when he does stuff like that. Because yeah, you're gonna get set up by like a fissure and a relocate almost every time. As now Jibe also a bit out of position.
Yeah, he tried to get a very aggressive laning ward out, but sadly, that is very likely, I think, to be denied right away, just because they know he was out here for a reason, and they got it.
Nigma's really starting to apply that pressure and cause the chaos. We still see High Coast. They're keeping maintained, keeping their cool. Still farming
into the charge, into the ultimate as well. He was trying to hold it out until the Malefice stuns ran its course, but they controlled him a little bit longer. Maybe the Death Prophet could have been there with the silence, and we could have had a kill. Supreme does now have a Eul's Scepter, so he's got some defense available now.
Okay, they'll just actually force that rush. They don't have Exorcism at the moment, so this will give them a little bit of blanket window until they do have that, 25 seconds, and Enigma won't make it there in time. They're just going to get their own farm. And they've caused a lot of chaos. You know, after that little bit of a shaky kind of laning phase, they've evened things out, and they're actually the ones bouncing back between the net worth lead and experience lead.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Now we do have Exorcism back up, Black Hole up, and Book 3 finished for High Coast. So some really big item timings all coming together. Nigma really pressing the issue on bottom, trying to get this tier 2 early. It's going to be reactions now, though. We see High Coast setting up. Nigma's all in the area, though.
For once, they're going to go into their safe lane and try and force a team fight with this smoke, and they're going to manage to catch the Void Spirit with the Eul's Scepter into the silence, and now looks like Weaver's been put in the hole as well, and he's not going to be given an escape GH. Too late for that one, and even the relocate out is not successful thanks to the disruption from Zibe.
This time, Chessie makes up for the whiff. Black Hole catches the perfect one. Weehaw just again getting caught out. A Eul's into a silence, and then they have the Book through sticking on him. He's just quickly dead as Nigma gets pushed out of the jungle very easily. And they didn't have to pop Exorcism too, so it was just that Black Hole. So for next fight, Icos can definitely look for it. And we see that again, yeah, just he's spotted. He just gets completely controlled, and Miracle just walks up a bit too close.
And GH, I mean, level 1 relocate takes some serious time, and that Weaver, as soon as he's controlled, Charlie can just 100-0 him in like 2 seconds. This GH, I'm not sure what moment that eyebrow movement was for. That was, I'm guessing, Miracle getting caught in the Black Hole.
Yeah, more than likely. They,
Oh,
I don't
no.
think they were prepared for that quick setup there. Like, Weehaw just walks in, Kuroki's not ready. GH just is not ready to bail them out, and a big hit from High Coast. That's with the Aegis. You know, they're gonna have this all this time here to just like sit back, farm, finish up BKB on Ursa. This is looking pretty damn good for High Coast, especially with like the hero matchups that they do have. Sure, Weaver is good in a way versus the lack of control, but just the fact that their Spirit Breaker really just is going to make it so hard. It's going to make it so difficult for the Weaver because of how good of a game Era's having too. He's already halfway to Ags. So these charges, like the movement speed will be able to match and catch up to the Weaver, and just that cooldown, it goes down to 7 seconds. He's going to have it real early.
Reminder to those at home who haven't kept total track of the EU DPC, this is a match that doesn't have any impact for High Coast Esports. They've already been eliminated as the team who is currently 1-5. But it does have serious implications for Nigma, who are currently 3-3. And if they win this, then they're guaranteed some sort of tiebreaker in the third or maybe even second spot. But if they go and lose this series, then they still have a potential of being 3-4 and having a tiebreaker for the fourth slot, which is still a wild card slot to the major.
And it's definitely feeling a bit scary for Team Nigma right now with their lineup. Like the fact that High Coast lineup, they scale better. You know, the later the game goes, it's just amazing for Ursa and Nigma, for Death Prophet. These heroes are going to get really strong, and they have, like, you know, the support duo is also quite strong. Nigma's got to start fixing things together. They have to start causing more chaos. Got to start getting better angles of approach and just being prepared for those setups. They almost do have the blink on Kuroki, which will make things a lot easier because they don't really have great forms of starting the fights, especially with Weehaw struggling so much. He's so poor on this Void Spirit. They're going to need a big blink Echo Slam to bring things back.
Speaking of which, where was Kuro when that black hole went down?
He was all the way so far on the right. Like he immediately started running away. I don't think he could get there in time. It really caught them just totally off guard.
Well, this is they're gonna have to hit that point, that blink dagger timing really hard. They're gonna have the Yule Scepter for the Venomancer, but it's concerning, right? Because the Battle Fury Ursa, from my experience, man, this hero turns into a serious late game beast.
And he's already got the items to kind of counteract versus Weave. Like, he has Basher already at this point. Miracle.
Oh, if he got a bash there, they might have been able to get the kill. Supreme pushed on the wrong side of the Fissure here. Is in an awkward space. He's still got the Yule Scepter and Spirit Siphons. He's going to pop it now to be able to dodge the Stimulate. Charlie takes that damage instead. He still has the Aegis, and the Disruption is out there to be able to buy Supreme a little bit more time. Again, a charge comes through. Supreme, is he going to be able to get away? Hiding inside the trees. Spirit Siphon goes out immediately. Miracle pops that ultimate in order to break the Spirit Siphon. Still hoping to be able to chase out Supreme, but now an ultimate from Era. A silence of Fissure, but this time he's on the right side of it as he holds his ground. The Spirits come back. He heals up. Weeha's going to go down. Another Yule Scepter, buying him a little bit more time. A silence goes out because the team help him. Kuro comes in with a big echo. That's going to take out Zibbe, but Charlie back into it. Almost taking the Venomancer down. Oh no, he didn't get the kill before he died. He'll come back for a second life, but Era's low on health, and with a 1 versus 4, he's going to get kited around heavily. Charlie doesn't stand a chance on his second life. He does go down. The Blink Dagger's picked up by Kuro now as Nigma finally start getting into the swing of things.
What a like team fight winning Fissure just to start everything off. It puts Supreme in such an awkward position. They all have to walk up and just kind of bail him out. It puts the rest of them all in this weird position. The Spirits come back in at a perfect time, but they can't quite clean up Miracle. The heals coming out from GH, bit too much. Really huge fight, a big outplay fight from Team Nigma there, setting up perfectly. And now the blink is there for Kuro. So he somehow walked in and got a pretty good Echo Slam in the midst of all that chaos, but it all started off with that just gorgeous Fissure by him.
A haste rune for Kuro while the Weaver is pressuring and does take that top tower. Getting a nice bit of tier 2 items. SNY complete for Miracle now as well.
Look at his next cute item. I guess this is the solution for the Ursa to have a matchup against him. And I guess also that Enigma to have a BKB solution for Black Hole. He's going to go Basher into Abyssal on Weaver.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have a BKB piercing disable, so they're eventually going to need that Abyssal Blade.
Yeah, I I kind of like it. And then also, if like he gets situations where he bashes the Ursa, if he's fighting him straight up, right? I mean, that sounds absolutely ridiculous, but like you can see the reasons why he'd want. Like, what else do you itemize? You'd have to go for like Butterfly or Scotty, kiting him out. I can see the reasons why he could go for this.
Oh boy, Jesse.
My God.
I don't know, man. I find that IO Weaver is like one of the most ridiculous looking combos in the game right now. Now that Tether allows you to match the movement speed, look at him. He's whipping Miracle, and they Shikuchi, and they just zoom it across the map.
It's like when we had that phase of Bloodseeker IO every game in the offlane. I don't know if you were playing pubs during it, and it was just like, Jesus, they're just 1,000 movement speed the whole laning phase.
866 movement speed.
And now GH has a Vessel finished up, so Death Prophet, Supreme, he's going to need that BKB it for the next upcoming fight too. And Nigma has really just halted all of High Coast advantages. Miracle takes the top net worth, and he's just swinging from tower to tower. You know, that movement speed, that mobility coming into play.
So High Coast are taking this last team fight, and what they're saying is, okay, guys, in order to win the next team fight engagement, we need BKB. They're conceding a lot of ground and just trying to find farm where they can. Yeah. BKB for the Death Prophet. BKB being built up for the Ursa, as well as he was obviously kited quite heavily. But hey, you got to watch out for this Weaver plus IO combination. Not only do they have the global capabilities of relocate, but near global as they just zoom around the map together.
It really is. It is quite ridiculous, absolutely. And with that SNY too, I mean, this is the most common pickup now on all these carries, but you know, it works really well versus Silence. You're gonna see it a couple times there, him versus that Death Prophet. I mean, this speed is so ridiculous. Like, they literally can just set up for the towers so fast. They just swing across the map. Oh,
I'm curious, Bug. What do you think about the fact that we don't have like a big late game status resistance item anymore? Are you okay with that? Because I'm kind of okay with that.
I would like to see it removed from SNY. I'll be totally honest with you.
Okay, fair enough. That's an old school Dota player thing, yeah.
Well, just like the fact that you see people go back for SNY as like a fourth item just feels so weird. But you know, it works so well with a lot of these cores. This era, they'll just swoop right in and assassinate him on the high ground. High Coast, like you mentioned, they want to just farm these BKBs. They're sacrificing a lot of ground.
Yeah, Arrow was positioned to break a smoke, but you know, he did break that smoke. The problem is Nigma literally moves so fast they're able to catch more people all the time as they're able to get Zibe on top of that. Fortunately, all the cores do escape, which is kind of what they're looking for, but still.
And they get the scan too, the successful scan up on top on Chessie. He needs to be careful.
Forward. Chessie.
He's gonna get relocated on.
Oh no, yeah. Oh, he's gonna go for the black hole right away with the midnight pulse. Oh, thank goodness Weeha's here. That could have been disastrous. I'm surprised he didn't go for the TP out right away. Oh, never mind. There's Yules on mind control. I forgot.
He is in a rough spot as soon as he gets spotted up there. And High Coast has to be more careful with how they're split up. This Nigma, you know, the mobility is really getting to them. Even though they're the ones with Spirit Breaker, they're not able to match this movements. And now Night Basher's finished up after that SNY very quickly.
GH, they're going to go and try and get a fast kill onto him. The Weaver's here joining up, but Era's going to be able to pick up that Invis rune. Might need a little bit more damage to finish off GH. He's burning, but meanwhile, Supreme has been left behind. The Yule Scepter's right before the Fissure, but he's surrounded here. He's going to pop his BKB, Spirit Siphon on out. He's healing a lot. GH is still alive, but Era's still trying to track him down. Can he actually get him? Crew jumps in and bails out GH with a big enchant totem hit to stall up Era. GH is just too strong, apparently. He's just a little bit too tanky every time.
Cap, they used Exorcism, and now they have to run away from the fight. They also used Black Hole top before. Nigma's just going to run away with the next 2 minutes or so. They're just going to keep running at them. Don't let them get any space. They've got no damage. They've got no team fight. And they've kept Echo Slam through all of this. Kuroki patiently holding on to it. So they can just keep hunting, keep swinging around, keep looking for kills. High Coast really crumbling and falling apart after that top fight.
Yeah, Charlie, there's still a full recipe away from that BKB on him.
I deserve this.
It almost feels like it's one of those things where they realize what they need a bit too late into the game, you know? And now...
Yeah, they probably just felt they were really strong around that top side, and I feel like they just, like, Kuroki just ruined them with a Fissure about the whole thing that they wanted to, and they got forced into a fight maybe that they didn't want, because they were, like, Ursa's Basher was flying out on the courier as that whole fight happened, so...
All right, nice kill.
Okay.
Weehaw.
Not bad.
Not sure how he initially got caught there, but big pickup. Is that Aaron's? Sorry, did he have an Aghanim Scepter? Is that what he's almost got?
Yeah, Era's been 2 parts of it. He's at the 3rd part now. He needs 1 more.
Okay.
So it'll be nice. It'll be really good if he's able to get that versus the Weaver.
Yeah, certainly.
However, they have lost so much map control farming to these BKBs.
First hit bash, that'll do it to you.
Is that what caught Weehaw?
Yeah. They just crashed into each other, and immediately he got bashed up, and from there, not much he can really do. And as a result of that kill, Charlie's been able to get push out, get some creeps. He's almost there to his BKB. This game significantly changes if they can actually get all 3 of their BKBs online, because the strength of these heroes amps up so much. If the Ursa isn't being kited, if the Enigma has the threat of the BKB black hole, I mean, a lot changes.
Yeah. Still worried about him being able to stick on targets, because the thing is, like, he's gonna have BKB, but he's versus Venomancer. So if they don't remove mind control from the fight immediately, Charlie is still going to get quite kited. They have to be able to get on a target and stick on them, and they don't really have the best options. Like, it really is just the BKB black hole for them to just get on someone and kill them. But a lot of different ways for Enigma to play around that one with relocates and soon having the Abyssal Blade on the Weaver. So it doesn't look like it's gonna be easy for High Coast.
Every Ursa lineup needs its Roshan. And Nigma, they're currently trying to take that Roshan away. As Mind Control just kind of jumps in, drops the ultimate immediately. In these last few seconds of Roche, they're looking to be able to take in, keep them out of the pit. Heiko's going in. They do manage to get the Aegis, but this could be a potentially bad team fight. It's BKB, Black Hole going out, only catching 1 bow. Oh, Miracle got bumped into it by Era. He pops his ultimate, but he was already low. He's going to have to fight through on a second light. Charlie, his BKB is wearing out soon as the jump in from Weehaw, relocate out over to the side. They actually go away. They're going back in because they know Charlie doesn't have his BKB anymore. The Exorcism, though, they're stunned up. It's doing so much damage. Miracle had the cheese, though. He pops that immediately. He's going to get bumped back by, they relocate back over to the other side of the pit, and they're going to be back in the fight soon, but they may not even need him. Zibia's going to go for a last-second disruption and TP out, but that is denied by Weehaw. Gets the Yule Scepter on him. Turn back out of the Supreme, but obviously his Exorcism is gone. No more damage left in the tank, and Nigma, they take the Roshan, they win the fight.
They have to use 2 buybacks for it, but well worth it. They just show up and make sure that they can bail out Miracle of what looked like could have been a dangerous spot for a second there, and that's like one of the most important fights of this game. Securing that Roche, getting themselves the cheese as well. Miracle able to pop that one and survive throughout it, and now he's got Abyssal, so they've got ways to solve that BKB black hole after it did some decent damage in the fight. And now up to the high ground, they're actually looking for more as 3 are dead.
Yeah, they might as well just keep pushing that advantage. As I'm fairly certain... Oh, never mind. Yeah, he doesn't have his BKB just yet. I mean, just imagine... Remember when Chessie just kind of like threw out the Midnight Pulse? Imagine if he's got BKB. And like, if he was just a little bit more farmed, he had a BKB there, then he just rolls up inside of the pit, and they kind of win Roshan. There's no contest at that point.
He had to be a little bit more patient with it. He only is able to get the 1. Of course, Miracle gets bashed into it, but yeah, he could have just like literally walked freely into it and gotten the perfect situation for it. Weehaw played this fight really well. He danced on the sides really nicely and kept getting these good jumps and controls for that. So that Miracle and GH can just keep positioning themselves perfectly for the fight. Some really nice, clever mini relocates, and just swinging and moving that positioning of the fight to the high ground and just getting Miracle in position to carry. Where he's got Abyssal, and he's just, he's huge now.
High Coast's entire idea of team fights is that they have to be able to like bring people down 100-0, right? They're very committed, the big black hole. But if Nigma stretch out the team fight, the longer it goes, the more likely they are to win it. Abyssal Blade going out. Oh, but the Weaver is overwhelmed as the enraged Charlie just shakes off that disable. He doesn't chase for more, though. They still give enough respect to Nigma on this high ground that they, even in a 4 versus 4 with no Weaver, they are still going to back away.
It's a huge kill. Like, Charlie gets that one, he's able to back away, and he can just finish up his look to finish up his next item if he'd like to, which is, I guess it's going to be that Abyssal. I guess you just can't go for Blinked Anger, unfortunately, because you are versus Veno. I want easier ways for them to get into the backlines, because it's really just the Spirit Breaker who can right now on High Coast. And these supports, they're still doing a number on Nigma. Even though Kuroki did die, so did Mind Control in the last fight, they're doing their job. They're getting all their spells off back there.
Now, Fog, do you think that Nigma is on a timer to end the game, or are you okay with the way that their heroes scale?
I think I'm okay with the way that their heroes scale, just because of the fact that they have this IO with the Weaver. It just makes him that much stronger. If it was just a Weaver with no actual steroid, then I'd be a little more worried. But the fact that IO just makes you a monster, you know, overcharge is a whole different mechanic in its own of what it can do. So that for that reason, I don't mind them going later.
In which case, if they do go later into the game, like their biggest threat is going to be just dealing with that black hole, because that is sort of an anti-carry measure that High Coast has. A Fisher not going to be on the mark as Charlie's able to hop himself a little bit farther away. Good for now. Zibe, he now has an Ether Lens, so better opportunity for him and disruptions from afar.
Yeah. I'm just worried about them on High Coast ever being able to actually control Miracle enough. I feel like they have to throw absolutely everything onto him in all these fights to actually kill him. The last one, you know, he got a bit unfortunate because of positioning, and he just, you know, he dropped out of Shikuchi for killing the Shadow Demon and then just gets bashed. But most of these situations, he's got so much backup. Like this High Coast, they have to try to assassinate GH at the start of the fights. They tried last time, but he is really durable with this mech medallion vessel. But they have to take care of him because he's making Miracle do too much in the fights with the mobility, the damage, everything from overcharge.
They're a little bit split right now, but Nigma, instead of going for a 5-man push into the triangle, they might be... I thought maybe they were just going to go for a fast push into bottom lane, but maybe they're waiting for Charlie to actually show himself, and show himself he does. They start off, lead off, immediately get the disable on him, throw every single disable they have in the book right at Charlie to make sure no chance of BKB, no chance of the Enrage.
And that's 70 seconds. That was a good read by them. They had the catapult wave pushing in. They knew that all of High Coast was set up top. They just waited for that perfect swing. And now look at the damage. Era just gets completely eviscerated by Miracle's DD. And now to the high ground. He's got the Orb of Destruction, so they're going to push at a pretty fast pace with this DD too.
High Coast, how do you defend this? Are you going to give up the lane entirely? Are you going to kind of half defend and poke?
They used the Demonic Purge there on the Weaver, but it's a Weaver. He doesn't care. Mind Control just jumps in, gets that Poison Nova on all three of the heroes here.
Well, they are still hoping to be able to defend, it seems, but if they have to defend like this, if they lose some of their heroes, BKB going to be forced to use by Chessie, who kind of starts the charge forward, but he can't do anything now. Now, yeah, as you said, with BKB down, there's no hope of getting a black hole when the Ursa's up.
No, they're just going to have to let this one go. Got to be careful not to lose anybody, too. Nigma's going to back away, get this big advantage, and wow, 11K. Everyone gets a huge injection of gold as we see multiple solutions now being prepared for that Enigma BKB. Even Weeha's queuing up the Bastion and the Abyssal Blade. They've got a Wind Waker about to be finished onto Mind Control. So lots of different ways to protect teammates and just to stop the fight.
No, I'm excited to see the Wind Waker, man. That is like, that item, hard to get, right? Because it's so expensive. But it is a hard counter to the big team fight abilities of like Black Hole and Chronosphere.
Yeah, you just Wind Waker your teammate and he just flies out of it in the funniest way possible.
Yeah.
I think I've only seen 2 Wind Wakers. I got to see one yesterday, only for a couple of seconds.
Uh-oh, he's been silenced. Abyssal Blade back to be able to stop the Ursa. Now the follow-up disables. Now he's going to pop his ultimate, but he's already been charged. Now the Black Hole. Weeha's got it as well. He jumps right in, headlong into the darkness. And now GH, he's going to be pulled back in by a relocate. Nigma, a fatal error there perhaps, as they're going to lose 3.
That was maybe a little bit of an awkward time lapse, putting
Weeha no, wait,
he jumped right into it.
I can't believe
Did he
got
actually
away.
just get out?
GH just got out. Kuro, he's got his blink up.
No way.
No way. Our both support's going to get out of this. All right. He's been charged. See if he can hit. Oh, Era didn't chase.
Kuro instantly gets a D ward because he saw that charge too. Well, he knows where there is a ward. He puts on the sentry. Nice no hesitation by Chessie. Gets the Black Hole and Weeha. A little bit unfortunate for him. He blinked. He jumped right into it. He astral stepped literally as it was about to get casted, as we'll see this one again. Miracle. Maybe not the time lapse he expected, but Era was prepared with the charge, and wham. Very nicely done.
Yeah, I mean, the Spirit Breaker is really showing how good it is versus the Weaver, because Weaver's stuck in this position of, do I hold my time lapse until after the charge hits me, but I could potentially be chain stunned down, or do I pop it beforehand, but the disable's going to connect with me after on my second, my kind of second.
Ooh, Charlie.
Uh-oh. Is Charlie in trouble? What is Charlie doing down here? He's got his BKB. He's going to have to use it soon as he pops the Enrage first. And now he's
dead.
Just dead. Why, though?
And my control just dances on him with the Wind Waker.
I mean, I felt like Heiko's just got a big win under their belts, and then all of a sudden, it just kind of gets thrown away.
Yeah, and now they don't have, they don't have Black Hole for 50 seconds or Exorcism. So Nigma, with that kill, they effectively are playing only versus like 3 heroes. They can just go hard, jump onto anybody they see, and just take out these buildings. Heikos has to be very careful these next 50 seconds not to give up too much.
Yeah, Zibe, he's going to be forced into a buyback here as he spots the ward high ground, but it does get him killed in the process. See if they can slow this down. 35 seconds, melee Necronomicon unit going down. Supreme, he's got to be careful these chain disables. Weeha's going to be forced to use another Astral Step there because of the Fissure block.
Look at all the buffs on Miracle that they're putting on him. The Solar Crest, the Bullwhip.
Supreme, okay, they're going to bump him back, and they got to be careful of this burst damage there. That was a lot, especially thanks to the Soul Catcher adding a big burst of damage, if you can't actually bring him down.
That's gonna spook Nigma a bit to back away.
Yeah.
Ursa's gonna be respawning too. Ultimates are all coming back up, and yep, they see the Roche spawning. Can they kill this fast enough? It's got the cheese and that refresher shard.
The 5-man smoke up from Heikos. They can get here in time, I think.
They've got the blink as well on the Enigma, so they've got great ways to fight. Everything's up for them. Can they get the catch? They've got a ward too, actually in good position, watching Weeha and Kuroki.
All eyes on Chessie here, seeing if they can get the right kind of initiation. They've already lit off perfectly. Pick off onto Kuro. That team fighter's down. Now a silence to be able to follow up onto the Weaver. He's immediately being stunned up here. I think that was the Wind Waker used on him. Miracle's going to be backing away, but now that means they're open to be able to lay out the Black Hole. Here comes GH. He goes in for a potential relocate heal save here, but the Black Hole's just going to catch the 2 of them. Buyback on the Earthshaker, but there's no buyback on our Weaver or our IO. High Coast. They can take this and build for more now as they're unable to get Weehaw, but they can go into the Roshan pit if they wish.
Nigma didn't, they were just under complete vision. Look, they're pinging it out right now too. Like Weeha's like pinging that ward, but he actually walks right back into it.
Yeah, he throws out the Void Remnant. That doesn't stop Era for long thanks to the Bulldoze. He shrugs off that disable. The ward is still there.
Wait, Weeha was pinging that ward though. Like he's like, I know there's a ward here, and he walked up and just gave his life for it. That ward just literally won them that whole entire situation.
Oh, my control, the Echo Slam! A Wombo combo from Nigma with 2 heroes. They are hoping this is enough to get High Coast out of the damn pit with a buyback coming in from Weehaw. High Coast, they're going to be limping away here. Supreme is going to be forced to use his BKB. He's going to go for a TP out. High Coast have to reset. Now, Roshan's not low enough that Weehaw can do it by himself, I think.
They got 10 seconds or so left on Weaver. No, he can't take this out by himself just yet. It's going to take way too long. They're going to be able to swing back over. Ursa even buys Blink. Heikos, they're booking it.
They're going to run back in, but the Weaver's going to be up in time. They also have the relocate coming in from the IO. They're immediately going to try and rush this. Was this the play? Can they get this in time? The Roshan's falling fast. Oh, Shiva's going to go in, but they can't actually stop it. Everything's going to be picked up on the ground. Supreme with no BKB. He's got to play it careful here. Nigma start backing themselves away. A charge in from Era. It's Charlie who runs on in and tanks the Void Remnant, but he will manage to catch up with Vihai here. Thanks to the Abyssal Blade. A follow-up bump in there from Era is going to be able to get him killed, and GH just used his tether as well, so he can't tether himself to Miracle, but High Coast, respect the fact that Nigma, they got a cheese, they got a refresher, they got that Aegis. They do not want to overextend themselves.
No, don't overextend on High Coast. They're about to have their ults back up. 30 seconds. Charlie's actually walking in very aggressively here anyway.
Yeah, Charlie, he don't give a damn.
They don't. Like, he's feeling really powerful because Veno's dead for such a long time. Charlie's like, thank God, I can actually play Ursa properly. So looking for those type of catches. But their ults are about to come back up on High Coast.
Yeah, as you say, with the Venomancer dead, and then he's got Spider Legs on top of it, his mobility, there's such a massive difference for him. Is they're going to try and burst down Supreme, but he's got a fresh BKB in the black hole. He managed to catch the Weaver while the Io's being addressed. The Io, GH managed to get off the cheese, and the Weaver's not dead yet. He managed to get off the time-lapse. Chugochi himself away as GH does the same with the Tether. Now the ultimate comes out for the Venomancer as they're focusing now on this Death Prop. The Spirit Siphon's keeping alive with the Gold Scepter as well. He's healing up so damn much. Weehaw, double in, refresher, back and forth with the Astral Step. Going out to the Ursa. Ursa almost dead. He pops in range, tries to go for a DPS, denied by the Gold Scepter. You're not going anywhere, Big Bad Bear. As he turns around, goes for the Io, does manage to get him killed before he finally falls. Era.
They're chasing.
TP away. Do they have a disable? They do. They've got the Void Remnant. They snap him out of his place. High Coast. They do not manage to win that team fight. These fights are playing towards the end of the game now as we go into late death timers. And Nigma, they're the ones with the advantage. They can push it now.
So close to getting Miracle, at least the one time, but the cheese and then the time lapse, they're not actually able to focus fire him. GH doing an excellent job bailing out his buddy. Nice fight from Nigma with the buyback too from My Control, gives his life up for Miracle. That's Miracle. Yeah, like we said, still Aegis, and now he's got Leveler with all this time to be able to take out at least 2 racks. Are they not going to buy back?
They have the tier 2 up at top, so they may be just making the executive call. There's no black hole. Barracks are not worth as much as a buyback.
No, not at this point. Double barracks really hurts to play against, though. That constant pressure that comes out, and it is the middle and bottom one. So, you know, they're going to have to... The attention is going to start getting pulled to the bottom and mid lane, and then that's always going to give like those weird Roshan potentials for Nigma if the game does get to that point later on. So it's going to be tough for High Coast now with 2 racks is down. It's always just going to be the sides that are being forced in, and then yeah, they have to just like run all the way around the map. And this Nigma, Nigma's draft is all about that mobility and pulling them around the map. If they are able to outnumber, that will hurt High Coast a lot. I think these 2 racks might hurt them more than they thought it will.
They do have an extra late game step here, Fogged. Chessie's working towards a refresher. We've seen how effective like one black hole is at being able to dismantle this Weaver IO lineup.
Does he have mana? He's going to be really close to not having the mana for double, I'll be honest with you.
He may have to go for a mana booster after this refresher if he hopes to be able to do anything with it. We'll see. Maybe he just grabs a bunch of mangoes and shoves them in his backpack.
Yeah, something like that. He's gonna need it. He doesn't have the mana. You want to ideally get at least like one of the midnight pulses off too. If he midnight pulses, he doesn't have mana for double once he gets that refresher.
Supreme, they're gonna lead off on him. Just poking, seeing if Supreme or anybody from High Coast can be pulled out of position. Miracle, he's gonna be spotted here. He does have a double damage. He's a missile bladed, but they do have the Gold Scepter black hole. It's gonna be able to catch him. GH, can they save him? They're not gonna go for it on the first life, and he uses Tether, but it doesn't actually bail out Weehaw. Meanwhile, the second life of Miracle is gonna come into play, but the Gold Scepter stops the Shukuchi. Can they get the silence afterwards? They get a bash and a silence and a pistol play. The Weaver's dead.
Nice stuff from Era, controlling the backline. He kept chasing Kuroki. Kuro can't actually go for any play to save him out, and that's 80 seconds, so wow, back and forth. We keep having these deaths where there's no buybacks, and 90 also on Weehaw. Every single time he seems to be getting caught in with his brother inside of that black hole.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
29-28. A match that High Coast have nothing to play for, but they also have nothing to lose. Playing fearlessly in the face of... Oh, Charlie!
He finds him.
All right. I mean, that's the kind of game-winning move. They no longer have to worry about an Earthshaker as they approach the high ground, which is great for them. They can just be very aggressive. What do they do with this timer, though? I don't think they know there's no buyback on... Yeah, they don't know there's no buyback on the Weaver. That's due to gold.
My Control's gonna have to try to stall. He has to be super careful on this Venomancer, though. They'll try to dive him instantly. Charlie, pop the Enrage, get that Gale off. And they should be able to get this Rax here. Yeah. Blip will continue to slow it down. They're being very cautious. They're probably afraid of the buyback, like you're saying.
Keeping it going. 12 seconds till the Weaver's up. High Coast are probably looking at this going, okay, this is enough time. They're going to pop their ultimate, actually, and that may scare High Coast away. The preemptive relocate.
Okay.
That was...
keep the Rex up.
Yeah, that was kind of a cool move. I mean, they just pretty much spooked High Coast from being able to get that melee barracks.
That was nice. I like that Nigma's playing very cautious because Chessie, I think they spotted that he had Refresher and he did instantly pop it and then he ninja geared, I think maybe even in Vision. So I think they were very afraid of that second black hole coming in. They will all respawn. Some nice wards coming out from the side of High Coast. There's actually one in the base of Nigma that they did not take out just yet.
Oh, man. Fog, do you see that Trickster Cloak on the Death Prophet? I mean, that is some big survivability upgrade there. Whether the active works for him or not, just the evasion against this Weaver who does not have an MKB.
Yeah, I mean, even Magic Resist isn't bad because he is like, you know, Maelstrom. It'll add up a little bit there, but yeah, nice pickup. And I like the Hex. It really is. Those keep Weaver in place, as we've seen several times now. If they just keep Miracle locked down, he will die. And they do have quite a lot of forms of it now as Charlie. He's actually almost got an MKB finished up too. Hasn't quite spent his gold. It's also an instant disable to potentially catch GH, right? Because his play, he has to be able to get the relocate onto Miracle. So everybody from High Coast is going to be high alert. Mid. There's double catapults here. They've got the Eidolons and the Necrobook, the melee racks.
Okay.
Getting low. There's still a ward in the base too. Okay, they have a gem now on my control, so at least be able to take that one out.
Siege wagons are hard to deal with. They're going to throw out the Void Rim, then try and stop it, but the melee barracks dies.
Meanwhile, bottom, we see double siege wave coming in from Nigma. That's going to hurt that tier 4 quite a bit. They're bringing it. I think we're going to get to some rat potential. Cap, I'll be honest with you. I always see like 2 racks is down. I see Weaver. I see Io. I think Nigma's just looking for opportunities probably at some point to go for some base pushing if the game starts to get into like some weird forms.
Yeah, especially when Weaver gets level 25.
Yeah, Weaver and Io 25 could definitely just take out the throne really quickly with that attack tethered. So yeah, definitely in the realms of the game getting to that point. Is Icoast has hit hard in these last 2 fights, and they're gonna have these refresher black holes constantly too to threaten.
MKB for the Ursa. Is there, I think the only evasion he's dealing with, am I crazy? Is it just the Trickster Cloak?
I think it is, yeah.
Huh. I wonder if
I was checking to see. Yeah.
Do you think he expected a butterfly out of the Weaver?
I'm not sure. I guess he must have. I'm trying to see if I'm missing anything else. I don't think so. No, that's it.
Yeah, just the Trickster Cloak, I guess. So
it is an annoying item to deal with.
Is there a better damage item if you don't need the True Strike though on Ursa?
That's what I'm thinking, like versus Weaver. Maybe he's thinking about for the later stage if the butterfly comes out, but
yeah.
I mean, the only other option, I'm not really sure what other option. Because every time I see them just go like S and Ys and stuff like that, but
High Coast.
Nigma's, they're gonna get this one.
Yeah.
They're gonna get it for free.
I quite surprised by that. That's an Aghanim Scepter and a Refresher Shard. So who gets the Ags? I think that was the maybe the Io. He's probably got the cheese there.
Yeah, Io cheese. I don't know. GH is still deciding. He's flying the courier around. Looks like he's trying to send it to my control, but
oh, they do manage to burst out my control, but he gets a buyback immediately. A charge through, bumps to a black hole being used immediately onto the Weaver. Can they burst him down fast enough? But he does have the edges. They get the relocate out. Miracles away to safety, and you know they want to re-engage. They want to be able to catch High Coast as the gem's going to be left behind here. Refresher going to be popped. This is why Nigma need to respect if they choose to re-engage here. Got to respect that second black hole.
Such a nice reset, though, right? That black hole and Exorcism was expended, so Exorcism's still pretty important here for Supreme. He's actually about to hit 25 on the Death Prophet, too.
Yeah.
GH, though, coming with clutch. Did he hand him over yet? Did he give the Ags over? He did. Okay, so Venomancer has Ags, and the Refresher Shard is on Weehaw still, just like last time.
Jumping in, immediately get the jump on Weehaw. Weehaw is dead. A Fist of Blade into the mouth. They just cannot handle this fast damage. Is now Miracle. He's going to stand strong for a moment against Supreme, but realizing for his better judgment, he's got to get out of here.
Again, this vision is just, it's really crippling these mobility heroes on the side of Nigma. The instant disables are just too much for them when they're under vision. Just multiple times now I've seen Weehaw getting, Weehaw getting caught by that. He's got 10 deaths on this Void Spirit just because of these instant quick grabs. This Abyssal, this Hex now. And yeah, wards, honestly. Vision really wins games, everybody.
Oh, yeah, it certainly does. A late BKB is the choice now for Miracle.
He's getting annoyed by all these little things. Like it's not just the basher. It's not just anything like this. It's like the little Malefice stuns and everything are pretty obnoxious. So,
Mira. That hit does a lot of damage as he's going to re-get his ultimate off thanks to the bulldoze, making that disable not last very long. Should be able to keep the chain stun pretty easily. Now, with Charlie here, Miracle's got to be a little bit careful. He was hoping he'd be able to kill that Spirit Breaker. He does pop his ultimate, turn around, pops him real quickly, but now he's been silent.
Charlie's being slowed up.
Yeah, he's dealing with this Venomancer. You said this is a hard game for Charlie to be able to play. The Venomancer's allowed to be in his face constantly. They do manage to get the Scythe onto Miracle, but he quickly shrugs it off and is able to get his Shikuchi away. This Scotty is slowing things down incredibly. The Wind Waker away goes Mind Control as Miracle looks to be able to chase him down again. BKB activated, TP out. Chessie, no! The Abyssal Blade from Miracle catches him on the last half second here. And now Supreme, he's going to be run down as well. He's got the gem too, so he should be able to pick that one up, even if it takes a little bit to kill him. He tried to drop the gem off. Oh, he hit it. He hit it behind the tree.
Oh, he did. Oh, nicely.
All right,
and they're just committing for the tier 4s now, forcing the buybacks.
One buyback out. They're going to wait for the Spirit Breaker to catch people before the Nigma buys back and see if they can get it, but GH, he barely lived. One more swipe, but he gets the cheese off first. Supreme. He charges forward with the Shivas, was hoping he'd be able to catch somebody. They just used 3 buybacks. They needed a successful fight for that, but they don't get it.
It's just so hard for Charlie to do anything in the fights. Just Scotty slow, Veno poison sting. It's just kite central for this Ursa. So now he gets on top of Miracle.
Is that the first life? No, he gets off the time lapse and zoom away. Era, zoom on after him, goes for GH and realizes that's a bit too far out.
Charlie's gone for Heart next, too. Okay.
Charlie.
So no boots. He does have spider legs at the very least, as we've said from earlier, but he's just feeling like he's getting pressured too much. And the thing is, he's built Heart into a Scotty. So that kind of just makes Scotty a little bit better, I feel, because he's just getting kited anyway, and that's going to reduce the effectiveness of the heal. It's a hard game for the Ursa anyway. Just watching him in the fights, it's just Poison Stings, Gales, Ghost Scepters, Wind Wakers, as he's getting hit by Scotty the whole time. It's pretty frustrating for Charlie this game. I don't think he knows what the solution really is. That's why we're seeing, like, you know, MKB versus non-evasion. Now Heart, he doesn't really know what the solution is versus all this kiting.
Well, looks like we're not going to be able to go high ground with this Aegis. Unless I'm wrong. It should be fading pretty soon, right? Ooh, Dissimulate's done. Yeah, 25
Yeah, it's about to be 20 seconds. And Miracle spends his gold finally. What's he bringing out? Is it a Satanic? It is. So he's going to have more survivability on this Weaver now.
So he replaces that true second life with a pseudo second life of its own. But
they're under vision here.
Is he an opportunity to be able to pick off GH? They might just have got him. Scythe of Ice goes out. The Aeon Disc immediately they miss a play, but it takes off the disable thanks to the status resistance. And Charlie, he just got bashed up. Now he's going to be Echo Slam, but he managed to get the Enrage off. He's going to start focusing on a Miracle. On the side, they're going to be able to catch Weehaw here with the first Black Hole. He's already dead. Weeha's going to go for the buyback. This is a must-win engagement. Nigma, they can close out this game now as Era turns around, goes for the charge, but he's caught. The Fisher pulls him down into the grave as Supreme running away with the Exorcism. They got to be careful of Chessie, though. He doesn't have the mana for a second Black Hole, but maybe he does now. Lose it. Black Hole a second too late. Doesn't manage to catch Miracle. And now Chessie, he's going to be ripped apart by Miracle. All that damage going out, but they might be able to kill GH. They do. 2 minutes on the clock for one, but GH, he's able to buy back and immediately come to this fight. Oh, no, it's just too much. They know Supreme cannot hold this any longer. Not with Charlie dead, not with the last Black Hole used. That is it for High Coast. Nigma, a hard-fought Game 1 victory for